Hello viewers, welcome back to Daily Retro. Got another episode of Guide to Game Shops for you today. So we're going to be talking about Retro Games HQ in Swindon. So I'll try not to be biased about this, but this is probably the shop I've been going to the longest. It's the shop I started collecting at. It's only 50 minutes drive for myself, which is not too far to go to such a good retro gaming shop. But I took some video recently of how the shop is looking as of present day. It's definitely evolved over time, even adding a floor to it. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of the shop, and I'll sort of flash up some video as we go through as to what is in the shop. So Pete is the owner. He's a very friendly owner. He's very into his cars as well. He owns a very bright blue Mustang, so if you ever get chatting about cars, then you're going to be there a long time. But Pete has done a really smashing job with this shop. So I've been going there probably 3 or 4 years now, and he is at the back of his family music shop. So this shop is kind of like a hidden gem, to be honest. You've got to know where you're looking. It is based in the centre of Swindon, so it's really not too hard to find, even if you think it is hard to find. But there's a shopping centre right behind it, the Brunel, and a multi-storey car park, and he'll even offer you free parking if you are using just the shop, which I have several times, which is definitely a positive thing. But yeah, I've been going to the shop for a few years now and seen the evolution of it. So from a pro perspective, this shop is really nice. The fact that it is definitely a growing shop. The music business that his family runs at the front of it is has its ups and downs. Obviously through COVID it was very difficult, but he has sort of kept his family building business, whatever you call it, growing, which is really nice to see, because it is such a good location for a shop, and it's definitely grown with the times. So over COVID, obviously gaming was very popular, and as a result he got just an inundated amount of business. He used to just have the downstairs bit of the shop at the back, and don't get me wrong, it was a really nice area. It still looks very good now, but it contained a very sort of crammed view of some of the consoles. So he does each section by console, which is really nice to see. But yeah, he has expanded. He's probably tripled his capacity in the past 3 years as to what you can buy. So there's a lot of different things you can buy. I've seen him just get a plethora of new glass cabinets in recently. He's even got multi-cade cabinets upstairs. He's basically taking over the whole floor upstairs to have more glass cabinets, but also these multi-cade arcade machines for kids to play on, or even you to play on whilst you're browsing, which is a really nice touch. So second pro of the shop is most definitely just the pricing of everything. So Pete does very good competitive pricing. I would say the only shop that's sort of slightly better on pricing is probably Vintage Gamer, but that is because Nick gets a higher throughput, I think, of different items coming in and out, whereas Pete is obviously a little bit slower in that sense, but by no means does that mean he's not got new stock all the time. Very good pricing anyway, and obviously the more you buy, as with most good retro gaming shops I should say, he will offer you discounts on the more you buy. I believe he does, if you're sort of new to the shop as well, he will do discounts, I think, of 5% if you're sort of tagging the shop in your social media, which was a really nice touch when we were first going. Just sort of makes you want to go back and sort of get more deals. Obviously it depends on how much you're buying, but yeah, he's definitely negotiable, let's say. Very friendly guy. He's always asking about the channel, and and always asking what I'm playing at the moment, and he absolutely loves playing his games as well. Obviously, running a shop is very busy. You're sort of buying collections and cleaning them up and putting them on display and selling them and waiting for people to have walk-ins and things like that. So it is a very busy job, particularly in the centre of Swindon, because he gets a lot of foot traffic. So that's probably a couple of pros there, to be honest. The only downside of the shop really is kind of forementioned. So obviously it is at the back of a music shop. There are signs outside, but it's not the most obvious if you do not know it's there. But hopefully this video will help you realise that this shop is there in the centre of Swindon. Definitely worth the drive. Not far off the M4 or the A417 if you're coming from north. So it's really easy to get to, and it is easy to find if you know where you're going. The shop that is at the back of is called Holmes Music, so that is his family surname. And yeah, that is the only downside really, is it's not obvious if you were to sort of drive past the music shop that retro game shop is there at the back of it. So obviously it's not a shop in itself as well. It's sort of half the building as such. Is half music shop, half retro game shop, which is not really a negative in my mind. It's just something that's a bit different to how other retro gaming shops are run across the UK. And then on a final note, it's just another positive really. So it's definitely a shop that you want to go back to several times. We have built up a relationship with Pete now, where he sort of knows what me and Natasha are looking for. Still won't sell her one of these really tidy Tomb Raider statues that he's got loads of in his back room. I think he's just waiting for them to appreciate like crazy, which they are already. But yeah, the relationship is definitely there. He will remember what you are looking for and will obviously look out for items, particular rare items, for you when he goes and buys collections. He does this very frequently. I'll leave a link down below for his social media so you can follow what comes into his shop. He is very proactive in that sense, so he will tell you when he's bought new collections and when they'll be available in the shop for you to go and buy. So that's a really nice touch. Not a lot of shops have the time to do that. So if you do see a rare item posted on social media, you can sort of just drop him a message and he'll say, yeah, that's going to be out on Thursday, and you can come down on the Thursday, and it'll be there for you waiting. He is open most days, which is again probably another positive of it being possibly at the back of the music shop is a positive reason for that. But the shop is open most days of the week. I think it's only shut on Sundays and Mondays, so it's open 5 days a week. The opening hours will be on his Facebook, which will be linked down below. But it's usually from 10 till 5, which is good. They are really nice. Just as an extra bonus tip, really nice cafes, especially one called Love Brownie, which is on the same road. For breakfast and lunch or brunch or whatever you want to go for, even just coffee. Do amazing mochas because they have amazing chocolate. So me and the wife always go there before going to the shop. It just makes it more of a nice day out. And then obviously you've got the centre of Swindon just in walking distance. So there are other shops that you can go to afterwards. I know I always spend at least an hour, if not two, in the shop before we sort of go and do that. So yeah, it's a really nice way to spend the day together. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening to me ramble about Pete's shop. I hope you can visit if you've not visited before, and if you have visited before, then please leave your experiences down in the comments. But that's all for this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you for another episode very soon. Cheers.